It's time for 5-Minute Advice for Authors, brought to you by Twin Flame Studios.
My name is Lisa Wise. I'm the author of Self-Elected, How to Put Justice Over Profit and Soar in Business. I'm all about being an entrepreneur, but a change maker. So my focus is on housing justice and helping people really love and live in safe and secure homes. The most important thing for readers to really take away from the book is that you can do simple things to action justice in an organization that contributes to a brighter and better world, but also contributes to a brighter bottom line, frankly. I think having justice-based business is an act that allows all of us to think about how business is going to play a strong role in making a difference in the world, from climate change to LGBTQ issues to racial justice. Businesses have a strong voice in this world and the community. I talk a lot about that with pretty relatable stories about companies that you may have heard of, like Penzeys Spices or Ace Hardware. I'm not talking about the whole tech environment and movement. I'm looking at things that are relatable, experiences people have had in retail and other spaces where there are a lot of folks that are saying we can make change, and positive change at that, by leveraging what we do as business to advance a more just and equitable future. We've done just that. I think being a purpose-driven company and one really anchored in justice makes us more attractive. It differentiates us. And when that's your model, people will find you. That differentiation is something that consumers are looking for, whether they're consuming a service or whether they're consuming a product. People ask me all the time, how did you do it? And I think anyone that stares at an empty screen or an empty piece of paper feels pretty daunted by the journey of writing a book. And if you have a story to tell, it's hard to figure out where to begin in that writing journey. And for me, the most practical thing that I could do was have a partner, a conversational partner and producer for my book. That was someone who would shepherd me through the conversation that we needed to have to inspire how that content unfolded. So having for me a conversation partner was totally critical. And together we would map out the chapters and map out the story that I wanted to tell. And if you think about it, like, you need a consumer of your story. So by working with that person to head check and think about whether or not the arc was appropriate, or I was getting to the right points, or the research was relevant, or the storytelling was there, having that thought partner was totally essential, as well as carving out time, spending an entire day with yourself to do that writing and coming to a practice that works for you. So for the first part, I didn't say, oh, I need 8 hours to write. I would say I'm going to write for 30 minutes every morning, and I'm going to ask my producer to just send 5 questions she wants me to answer. And that was easy. I can respond to questions all day long. Organizing the work that way helped the energy and thinking flow, and the words flow much more easily, and it made the work quite enjoyable. Not everybody works the same way, but that was a trick I had. And we engaged an editor. I tell people in the beginning of my book, it's a miracle I can read, let alone write a book. And so from a grammar perspective and from basically another thought partner there who was very aligned with what I was writing, that was a critical part of the journey. I didn't want to read, I did not want to read the book aloud. And I also understood that I wanted to have an audiobook because that's the way I consume most of my books. And I'm a voracious reader, and I wanted that opportunity for folks that aren't necessarily good with a book to be able to learn with their ears. Sitting in the same space, in the same position, quietly talking into a microphone and slowly reading my book aloud, because the voice actress that we selected had to leave the project in the middle. So there was no room or time for me to find anybody else. And Stephen said, it's got to be you. And I didn't understand what a beautiful experience it would be for me to sit quietly and read my book aloud, which I hadn't done. I'd never read it from beginning to end. And I did it intentionally and quietly and in a space that felt very comforting to me. And I thought, wow, I like my book. You never know. And I thought, God, I'm proud of this. And I'm glad that I had that chance and opportunity to share it with my own voice.
Thanks for joining us on 5-Minute Advice for Authors. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe for more, and visit us at twinflamestudios.com.